Welcome to the Ska History Hour with your host, Daryl Rubio, wherein the purpose of this channel is to spread awareness of ska music and its subgenres to the world. Our guests today are members of Johnny Socko and Coolidge, both from Bloomington, Indiana. Did I get that right? Bloomington?
I've never seen so much blood before in my life. I swear to God, I don't know where the bodies went. Oh my God, this is the wrong podcast. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. That'll be the next podcast you guys are on. But gentlemen, I appreciate the time that you're taking to speak with us, to share your stories with the ska community and your music with the ska community. Can you each please tell us a little bit about yourself, your role in the band, where you grew up, and where you now live?
How about Charlie first?
Why me?
Alphabetical.
Alphabetical. Okay. Myself. Hi, I'm Charlie Crone on the slide trombone. That's a clever way I like to introduce myself. No, I played trombone in Socko from just about the very beginning. But I came to Indiana by way of Pennsylvania, where I grew up. Spent my first 18 years there. Grew up next to 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant. Decided I wanted to major in music. Ended up at IU and met Josh. We hated each other. That's where the love affair started. But no, I was with Socko pretty much right from the beginning. Joined up with Coolidge after a whole lot of other stuff that I'm sure we'll get into. We don't need to cover the the decades in between, and I've been in Coolidge ever since, loving it.
Awesome.
That's it. Next.
Fun fact, I met a good one coming in late. Thanks, Daryl, for the reminder. But 3 Mile Island, when it melted down, that was the you can say, when was the first English Beat live performance? The day 3 Mile Island melted down.
Oh.
March 29th, 1978. 79.
79, yes.
That's a good, I like that.
So it's a nice little trivia,
That's a good intro for you, Mitta.
Yes.
So we also have a special guest today, Mr. Mitta Goodwin from the radio program This Is Ska out of Modesto, California. And This Is Ska is on many other, how many radio stations is it on, Mitta?
6 dozen-ish.
6 dozen-ish. Awesome. And you did a lot of promoting in the 90s, and you still do it in the Central Valley area. Is that correct?
Not as much as I did back in the 90s, early 2000s, but still doing it. Did merch for Skank and Pickle for years. Mike Park still says he will not. He answers my phone whenever I call. Even if he can't talk, he'll answer it. I'm like, all right.
Oh God.
I appreciate that.
I have a question about the Central California scene. Not so much the scene, but true or false, is that part of California referred to sometime as Cowschwitz?
I've never heard it called that. No.
Mm-hmm.
But, it could be referred to that. I don't know.
When we did a show in Stockton, it smelled so bad. And it was because, like, the slaughter yards, I mean, it was just death. Death was just floating. Oh,
Stockton, I don't remember so bad. The slaughter yards, we don't have a lot in Stockton, but there are some out in Modesto, just west of us in Ceres. And when I first moved up here,
so
82.
I don't want to be too confrontational. Would you say that you're a Cowschwitz denier?
I would, like I said, when I was in Stockton.
I'm just messing with you.
But there are some slaughterhouses out here, and the worst part is not so much the slaughtering going on, but when they fill up the trucks with the waste.
Oh.
And those get left out in the yard sometimes.
I say glue. I mean, elementary school kids got to work with something. So
yeah, no, for sure. But no, it was the blood, the guts, and there's bacon and 106 heat during the summertime. Yeah, it would get nasty.
yes, that's what I remember
Stockton
the
don't
smell.
really have it, but if you went through Manteca is another, they call it Manstinka, which is just south of Stockton. So when you came up, that show would have been one of my shows in Stockton. But when you came up, you were probably smelling it from Modesto or Manteca.
Which is saying something.
Really? That's so
right
not
there in the middle
clever.
of Central California. But yes.
Well, I mean, the fact that like guys that had been living in a stinky van for weeks at a time were like commenting on, wow, something else smells so bad.
Oh no. In the summertime, especially, you get some of those. Like I said, it hasn't been since 85, 86 since I had to deal with that because I've lived away from the slaughter houses. But yes, you bring that up. There are ones throughout the valley. We are a dairy area. What is it? Hilmar would be another spot that you drove, which you would have driven through coming up to Stockton from Southern California, because it's huge dairy. So at a certain point, they're going to slaughter the cows or whatever. I don't know if they send them out, but look at Daryl there. Daryl's in shock.
But
all the death and dismay.
Whatever.
Get over it, Daryl.
No. A good In-N-Out burger is still a good burger. So,
what do you think, Daryl? In-N-Out?
In-N-Out's good. I agree. So sorry, before you popped in mid-eye, we were doing the introductions. So far, I think we only got Charlie so far.
I'll jump in. My name is Chris Smale. I joined Johnny Socko in 1996 and until the end. Before it ended, I started a band called Coolidge as a side project, kind of more of a rock thing, which we can get into in more depth if we want to. But around 2006, 2007, started talking to Charlie. We brought Josh in, and we started kind of evolving into a little bit more of the kind of things that we used to do in the past. Personally, I was born in a small town. I live in a small town. I'll probably die in a small town.
Sounds like a Mellencamp
small
song.
town, Indiana. Yeah, my life is a Mellencamp song. So, yeah, Indiana.
Hoosier.
Born and raised. That would bring up Joshua on the alphabet, correct?
No, B, Beaumont.
Beaumont.
Hey.
I'll be Beaumont. Matt Beaumont. I've been with Coolidge since the 2000, what was it, 3 time frame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drums with Coolidge. I'm the 1/5 of Coolidge that had no part in Johnny Socko, but I was familiar with him and was a fan. Chris and I played in what was it, Watership Down was the band prior to that. That's how we knew each other. And I'd gone off grid for my first son, Isaac, to be born, and started getting the itch and came out and saw Coolidge play. And somehow that worked out that I got a chance to play a few times and been there ever since. I'm West Side, Indianapolis and Avon. For life was West Side of Indianapolis. And yeah, I've lived in Flint, Michigan, if that counts for something special, for a while for school. That was an experience. It makes me appreciate the West Side of Indianapolis. Yeah, that's about it for me. We'll see how much I get to talk about it. I'll be able to start piecing together more of the Johnny Socko road stories that I only have about 75% of as we listen through here today.
Wasn't there there was a big record, not big, but it was a small record store, but they had all the in-stores for the bands that went through. Beat Hotel, I think, in Flint? Wasn't it?
I missed it, if that was the case.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It was a while back.
I was in the Saginaw part of it, so that doesn't sound familiar for me.
All right. We got Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. Oh, you want more? I was in a band called Johnny Socko, and I'm now in a band called Coolidge. I like the music, and it's really good.
Well,
I was good friends with Dylan Wissing, good school friends with Dylan Wissing, the only drummer for Johnny Socko. And Johnny Socko started Halloween night, 1990. Johnny Socko opened up for the band that I was in at the time called Watchmen, and they used my crappy crate PA. It was a Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana, buy a keg of beer party. And I was at the first Johnny Socko gig, and then that was Halloween, and then I joined in May of 91. Much more importantly, though, I have been part of Coolidge for a minute and really enjoying writing music with this crew of people. So, yeah, whatever.
Awesome. And so Johnny Socko started in 1990, disbanded in 2003. But as a side project, Chris confirmed that Coolidge started in 2000. So a few years that you guys had that side project while Socko was still around. That must have been a lot for you guys to do, and a couple bands and um, work and family, things like that.
Well, part of it was that the touring that Socko was doing at that point, we're trying to shift into bigger shows. And part of that was like getting away from the 3-set bar gigs and doing more of concert things. And then we're like, well, okay, well, if we're going to do one long, 2-hour set, but all of these venues that we've been playing for all these years are expecting 3 hours of music. Okay, we need to figure out some kind of opening act. And sometimes there'd be local opening acts. And then Chris was like, man, I have this huge pile of music. It's kind of Socko-esque. It's not really Socko-esque. Why don't I do that? And we're like, oh, geez. Well, yeah, Coolidge can open up for Socko. Boom, built-in opening band. And best part, we don't have to pay them anything.
And you can drink their beer.
Yeah, probably to date, aside from playing Supernova, my favorite Coolidge memory is being at Czars in St. Joseph, Michigan, and Coolidge was opening up for Johnny Socko, and me and Damien, the trumpet player for Johnny Socko, we got pictures of Oberon, and we were doing shots of Oberon during the entire Coolidge set, and it was like, that is how a good original band should be appreciated.
And you were the only people in the audience, if I remember correctly.
I mean, if you have to point fingers, whatever. But
now, I want to know about the formation first of Johnny Socko, and then how I know you kind of told the story already of Coolidge and the side project. You wanted something for the band, but then Chris had shitload of songs. But how did Socko actually get started? Did it get started as an idea? You guys, high school kids and started it. Let's hear about that, because I know you guys. You're almost all. I know Chris came in a little later, and Charlie and Josh, you guys were almost at the beginning. Is that right?
Just after. Josh was before me. You recruited me in like late 91, I think.
Yep.
So tell us about when you guys came in and what you were told in the formation of the band.
So Johnny Socko formed with some Indianapolis friends, Joe Welch, Steve Mascari. They had been playing music throughout high school. They got into IU. They wanted to do some kind of band. They knew this guy who was really funny, who had never been in a band, Mike Wiltrout. Let's ask his nickname Trout. Let's ask Trout to sing. And he was fearless, didn't know what he didn't know. So that's guitar, bass, and vocals. And then I don't really remember how they hooked up with Eric Evans, who was the original trumpet player, Johnny Socko. Eric Evans was the link that there was a local music store called Smith Holden in Bloomington, Indiana. And Eric was kind of in the music school, so he knew the trombone player Al Batten and the saxophonist Dave Sterner. But there was some connection to Smith Holden. It might have been Steve Mascari, who was teaching bass lessons there, and that's where they met this guy Dylan Wissing, who was giving drum lessons there. Hey, we're starting this funk, silly whatever band. Any interest? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And they did it, and it was all kind of obscure ska covers and some really weird, left turn, random obscure covers, and mixed with a bunch of heavy funk songs. And it was just kind of, let's do it because it's fun. Let's do it for free beer. Let's do it to meet girls. And that, and it started with a, let's try and outdo each other in the most ridiculous costumes, outfits, ridiculous hats, whatever. Trout is kind of like a carnival barker, entertainer guy. We're like somewhere between David Lee Roth and Bob Barker, where it's like, and I don't know where the dance prize thing started, but let's do a dance prize and go to a Goodwill, find the most ridiculous thing you can find, and that's the dance prize. That was going solid for a few months. The original horn section, everyone was taking amusement park gigs, cruise ship gigs over the summer, which is why they recruited me. Hey, the trombone player's not going to be there, or the saxophone's not going to be there. Can you play it? Yeah, sure, whatever. And I mean, the early Socko rehearsals started. You did not go to rehearsal until you went to a liquor store. I mean, that was like the first thing you did. And then the next thing you did, you got to rehearsal, and then Al Batten pretty much bitched about his job at Waffle House for about 20, 30 minutes. Maybe then you got into actually playing music. Music was very secondary, tertiary. And then one day, Joe Welch brought this song that he wrote in, and I had been writing music my whole life. I was like, well, if he's going to bring that song in, I got some songs. Let's try this. And then that's when I made the biggest mistake of my life, is getting into a rock band for creativity instead of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So yeah, and it just kind of plugged away from there and recorded the first album in 1993.
Very nice. Very nice.
That was Bobby Aquarium.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was on the Bim Scala Bim label, right? The first two records.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's good introduction, good segue into that, Mina, because we usually go over the releases. So we'll go over first the releases of Johnny Socko, and then the releases of Coolidge. Bob Aquarium, which had that crazy ass cover with the fish with the cow. Oh yeah,
the cowfish.
I think the cowfish, 1994. I think were you holding up the I Do Hope It's Roast Beef album, 96, which has some crazy ass songs on it. My favorite though, Full Trucker Effect, 1990.
Asian Man Records.
Holy shit, fucking amazing album.
Thank you.
Quattro, 99, and then you had a self-titled comp, basically a bunch of the other songs from the other records in 2002. Coolidge, we've got Pop Star Baby in 2007. Condition Transmission 2021, which I think you guys supported or played a lot of that at Supernova. The 5 Best Songs in the World, Volume 1, which Chris reminded me of in 2014. And there was a 2-song EP, I think you said, Vote for Coolidge, and 4-song, Vote for Coolidge in 2024. Now, I have a question. I know there's a lot of the music from the 90s. There's some stuff where words were said, like the word bitch and stuff like that is where used in a lot of other bands of music. The times have changed drastically for that. Is there anything that you guys ever regret in any of your songs back then of how they could be portrayed now? And you don't have to answer the question if you don't want to.
Are you talking specifically about the song Bitch Stole My Hat?
Yes. I fucking love that song. I love that song. I love it because I come from that. That's my era that I come from.
All right. So, here's some, you know, the liner notes on the vinyl that Mida? How do you say it first? Yeah. The liner notes apologize for the blatant misogyny, and I didn't write the liner notes, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. There is not blatant misogyny in that song. I wrote the lyrics, I wrote the riff, I wrote most of that song. In the lyrics, it specifically talks about one individual, and she was in fact a fucking bitch, pardon my French, but she fucking stole our hat. She 100% stole our hat. It was in Lexington, Kentucky. We would end all of our Johnny Socko shows in like this drunken wrestling match, and she got up on stage and nabbed it. And like after the gig, we're like, where the hell did the one hat go? It was this yellow and red jester hat, and it had this magic. Whoever wore that hat ended up making up with a like cute or gorgeous woman that night. She stole that hat. Stealing is not cool. It doesn't matter what you steal. Stealing is not cool.
Right.
And in the song, I even address that there's a lyric. Why do you have to use that word? I assure you, I only use it when it's rightly deserved.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I am a feminist. I have a wife. I have a daughter. I absolutely adore. I have a strong mom. I love strong women, intelligent women. I am a staunch feminist.
Mm-hmm.
I am not okay with people stealing other people's shit. And so this one fucking asshole stole our shit. So fuck her.
Yeah. When it's rightly,
I wouldn't change a word.
Right. When it's rightly deserved, yes. I asked a similar question to Melting Pot. They had a song in '97 called Die Bitch, and it was about something similar like that, you know? And so when it's rightly justified, then yes, it's understandable. It's not the term, you know, it's the term is used for the person of the causing that act, basically.
Yeah. I'm not saying bitches. Bitches stole my hat.
Right.
Think about how much hip hop has been released. Think about how much unfortunate, and not even to classify one specific genre. There's been so much misogyny throughout music. Mm-hmm. This is not that. This is absolutely not that.
It's certain genres, yes, it's prevalent in that it's actually needed. It's expected basically in some, but I want to know how the name of each band came about. Kind of know what the name of Johnny Socko is, but Coolidge, we want to know how did you guys choose that? Is that like your favorite president or something, or how did that come about?
Chris,
Mr. Smale, that's your story.
Yeah, I'm a pretty quiet guy. All the world's a stage, and I turn it on when it's time. And in a one-on-one setting, I'll talk your ear off. But in a group setting, yeah, I'm pretty shy. I'm pretty quiet. And growing up, my late grandfather used to kind of jokingly say, "Oh, there's Cool Cal sitting over there," or say, "Listen, there's Coolidge. He's not saying a word," which is referring, of course, to Calvin. His nickname was the Silent President. He's a very quiet guy. So that just always kind of stuck with me. He meant a lot to me. So I just kind of carried that little fun moment of him just giggling and referring to me as Coolidge or Cool Cal. So I just stuck with it. Some fun additions is that the guy that does the dogs playing cards paintings, his last name is Coolidge, and those had a real impact on me as well.
In what you know, I'd like to add, in what capacity?
Yeah, I mean, they're all bitches playing cards, so I just love thinking about bitches and writing songs about bitches.
How many problems do you have? I have 99 problems. How many problems do you have?
One, I don't actually own a Coolidge original of bitches playing cards. So That's a real problem.
See you next Tuesday.
And obviously, who was the fan? Who started the band? Is that the one who loved Japanese that robots back then?
I'm not 100% sure, but I suspect that came from Mike Wiltrout. They were trying to figure out like what's the good silly name, and excuse me, they had, there was a lot of 70s Gen X TV watching, Godzilla, Rodan, all that crap, and then the giant robot show,
Yeah,
Johnny Socko, and it was oh well, that kid is named Sakko. If we change it to Socko, we'll avoid all legal ramifications.
and how did that go? You slid under the radar?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, and
unlike another Dill band for that for back in the day, janitors and When I Open.
Janitors who?
Janitors and When I Open, they did that split, the nerd split, and
the nerd split. But yeah,
and Mike Park got sued.
Using the Nerds logo and using the art from packaging to put out your CD. Yeah.
No, I mean, and Johnny Socko had some cease and desists.
The Goodwill, yeah.
Oh, there were quite a few. There were a handful. Yeah, it was a good learning experience about the legal process where we're like, let's make a T-shirt. Oh, I guess you can't do that. There was this early Johnny Socko shirt that it was a picture of Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, it's the best.
Out of his mouth was just a word bubble that just said Johnny Socko, and we're like, now that is a good T-shirt, and it was. Apparently, that's complete copyright infringement.
The Rat Pack is litigious.
And then we did a take on the Goodwill logo, where there's like the blue kind of thing with the face, because Goodwill is a great organization and it helps a lot of people and it's a positive impact on a lot of communities. And we took the Goodwill image and gave it like a Mr. Yuck face where it looked like it was drinking cough syrup. And we said, when you're feeling cheap and used, Johnny Socko. And apparently you can't do that either. There was one other one. I'm drawing a blank on it. But we got to send out a cease and desist. That was super exciting. There was a hobby band. There was a bunch of actors from what's the General Hospital, like the soap opera stuff, and they're like, oh, we have a rock band. We're playing in LA. We just wanted like the most American sounding name we could think of. We call ourselves Johnny Socko. And we saw that and we're like, no. So.
And how is that the most American sounding name too?
I don't know. I've never been on General Hospital, so I cannot answer.
My mom used to watch that. I remember. That's pretty awesome. Now, for touring, how far has Coolidge gone from your general vicinity of Indiana? I know you guys have gone to, of course, Virginia. How far west or north or south have you guys gone? I think you guys call them weekenders out there in like the Midwest or the East Coast, right?
We just call them gigs. I mean,
just gigs. Yeah. That's what we call them. But I've dealt with so many East Coast bands they don't call them that. They call them weekenders when they do like two shows in a row outside their area. So, but gigs,
weekender's like a big bag of potato chips. That's the weekender. And like Middlesworth potato chips. They got these great barbecue potato chips. They're made in Pennsylvania. My favorite. The weekenders, fucking fantastic. And you'll never have anything. Just trust me.
Good answer.
Weekenders.
Okay.
Has Coolidge been okay? So it's either St. Louis or the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
Has Coolidge been further west than that?
No.
Quad Cities, yeah.
No. And we got up to what? Upper Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin.
Sure. For Scapleton. That was great. That was.
You guys played last year, Scapleton, 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to go back. That was great.
Yeah, I heard they got a good thing going out there. And St. Louis, do you guys play for what's his Nigwid? What's his name?
Yep.
Tim. That's right.
Yeah.
We're playing there again in middle of July 17th, I think.
They're doing it again. They're doing another.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm right in front of my computer. 1 sec.
17th. You're correct. July
17th. Right before I come home.
Got it. That's awesome.
All right. Going back to the records.
Yes.
We worked with some iconic people in the ska world. Dan Vitale with Bib, Mike Park, and then of course you with the last Coolidge full length with Chuck Wren.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the most salty one of the three? Yeah, Christopher, I know what you're thinking.
Uh-oh. It's the Bim Scala Bim guys. I mean, Chuck Wren is a sweetheart. Mike Park is a sweetheart.
No, I think I love all three of them, but I do call Chuck Salty Chuck Red.
No, he's not. No,
he's a lovable guy. Known him for decades, but ever so often I was just like, Chuck, why are you being so salty?
No, geez, no. The East Coast, the dudes from Boston. Good God, they're all assholes. God love them. It's like they don't walk on grass enough, so they just freak out.
and then I guess as a follow up, you guys, did you do any? I know you played with Skank and Pickle, but did you ever do any length of touring with them?
No, just one-offs.
Okay.
Yeah.
No weekenders?
Well, I don't know how to answer that because what if the show occurred on a weekend?
I think what Daryl was saying is like 2 or 3 shows over a weekend, not being a full tour, just going out and coming back home.
But what if we did the show and didn't go back home and kept playing?
Daryl,
that's a tour.
See, there are many problems with this weekender concept. It's problematic, and this is exactly why the Knicks won, because media wants the East Coast to be prevalent in all of our cultural assessments, and it's problematic at best. So no comment.
All right, next question, Daryl.
That's funny because Chris and I were just talking about that before we started interviewing on the finals about that. But Mida, you did open that, so I had a question for later. But since Mida kind of opened the door for that, want to talk about working with Chuck Wren. A lot of the early days you dealt with Chuck. How is your relationship with Chuck throughout the years? He's been very supportive of the scene, of your band. Yes, I like the cue cards. Tell us about your working relationship with Chuck. Then we'll get into working relationship with Mike later after that.
Right. Chuck's the best, but you go, Josh.
No, I mean, we've known him since American Gothic 1. I mean, like, he took a chance on Johnny Socko decades ago. He is such a sweetheart. He has such a big heart. He's such a gentle soul. American Gothic is so much of my life would not have occurred if it weren't for American Gothic, because I don't know how he found out about Johnny Socko. Johnny Socko was on American Gothic 1. We did a show at the Metro. We met MU330. We met the Blue Meanies. We went on tour with them. Dan Potass was on a record. I mean, it just changed our lives. It just expanded our universe. in so many ways, and it's just like you just never know. Oh golly, so many shows happen because of Chuck Wren, and like he's just such a good guy, and the fact that he was like, hey, Coolidge is doing this new album, let can jump up, be a part of it. We're like, oh my god, yes, please, yeah, no brainer. Mm-hmm. And then he 100% got us up to Scalpelton and Supernova, and Supernova might very well be the single most fun gig I've ever done in my life, hands down.
I walked around that entire weekend just to add some just what Josh was just saying, watching him go into the ocean, come out, and just be happy as can be. I've not seen Josh that happy in years. He had the best time, and I was having fun just watching him be happy.
Yeah, it was pretty delightful.
Yeah, those American Gothic CDs were super influential. I was working a record store out here in California, and me and Chuck had been corresponding before that. And then when those came out, I ordered a bunch, and especially I think American Gothic 1, hands down the best. Then 3, 2 I dig, but there so many of those bands had disbanded. The death of American Gothic. Mm-hmm. So it was like you either had heard of them or you hadn't. But if you hadn't heard those bands, your opportunity outside of the Midwest of a reunion show, you couldn't see them. Mm-hmm. Sure. But the first and third, just so many bands to discover. And much like the Misfits of Ska or a lot of other ones, even Daryl's put out a couple comps. I put out comps back in the day. They were introductions. Mm-hmm. It's like you'd get a show, and it seemed like every town somebody had bought one of those compilations, dubbed them for 15 friends, who dubbed them for more friends. And next thing you know, you're playing a show in Stockton where it smells like poop and or death, and
but they know one song, and they're willing.
They know one song, and there's 100 kids there that know that one song.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, the impact was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
American Gothic 1 was amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just reviewing that track list again. God, that was incredible.
It really is.
I'm gonna listen to it again tonight.
Yeah, so many great bands from that.
Yeah, that was really inspirational for me when I did my first comp in '95. And I did that, and I think Misfits of Ska came out. I think it was right about the same time, or right a month or a couple before mine. But yeah, dude, that Misfits of Ska was a fucking killer album too, and all the American Gothics were as well.
Yeah, and you think about that Misfits of Ska comp, even of course the first American Gothic, but you look at the Misfits of Ska. Hey, Sublime, they got signed one up. Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Bosstones.
Bosstones weren't on there, but they were set to be on there. They never got the track to Mike, and that's why the Independents are on there.
Oh, that's right. That's the story.
But Real Big
you
Fish,
got them on there. Yeah.
Suicide Machine. There were several bands off there, and I know for a fact that there were A&R guys in Southern California looking at them and just check. Okay, who's coming through? Who's hot? Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, Suicide Machine said that. I think it was Derek. I think Derek. It might have been his mom's phone number that was on the comp, or the house phone, because they practiced in his basement. Yeah. And he called the house, got his mom. She's like, "Well, they're downstairs right now."
Yeah, he did all the business
back then. Then he flew out and caught up practice, and then next thing you know, they got signed and given way too much money.
And you guys with Asian Man, you put out first was Full Trucker Effect, right? That you put out on Asian Man.
Mm-hmm.
You're for that one now.
I love the samples in that.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. That now I was on tour
aside.
In 1998. I was on tour with the Adjustments and the Decepticons for a U.S. tour. There was 2 main albums that we listened to: Crab Rangoon by MU330 and Full Trucker Effect by Johnny Socko. And those we lived it. We loved it. And so we got to just know all the songs. which was amazing. So thank you guys for the music. Thank you guys for putting out that shit. It's fucking awesome. Good stuff back in the day. But I want to know for each of your bands, first of all, for Johnny Socko, then we'll go into Coolidge in regards to what your challenges have been as a band together. It could be anything with music, struggles within the band members, shows, music, anything like that. What struggles have you faced and overcome, adversities, things like that with both bands?
Overcome?
Can Josh, you always roll with these stories. I would like to tell it from the perspective of somebody who left the band in 1996 at the very
that'd be good.
It was 1996 New Year's Eve. So I joined the band when Josh came to me one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to be moving to tenor in Socko from Barry, and I want someone to cover those Barry parts. You have a good low sound on bone. Would you be interested in doing it?" Mind you, when Josh and I first met, like the two of us, we didn't get along very well, but after a while we developed a bit of musical respect, and I found out he was actually kind of cool. And I guess he thought I was cool enough to be in Socko. So, but fucking whatever. I didn't know what I was in for, because at that point I was not bar wise, shall we say, in the world. But anyway, time goes along though, and I'm in a cover band that's transitioning. It has very much made this transition over toward being much more original focus, and certainly the drive in the band was to do original music, and that was exciting for me. I wasn't a songwriter. I got to do a little bit of kind of riffing with the bass player, and came up with like the horn parts for Vinny's Hooch. That's something I just kind of got high with Brent Olds, and we came up with that one. It was fun. But time went along, and this is a whole new world for me. It was very exciting. I grew up in a strictly classical and jazz, well, more classical than anything, upbringing, musically speaking. So I'm enjoying this. Time goes along. I develop these relationships with people, but I also met my wife along the way. Didn't realize it. And then when I'm seeing this thing grow, and I'm realizing I don't know if I want to be on the road with a wife, and these guys, some of them had varying levels of success, but I didn't feel in me I could do it and be true to everything that I wanted to do. I felt like I'd been too split. So I decided in about the time, maybe it was going through my head about the time Chris joined the band, unfortunately. But yeah, it was, I think, 6 months after you joined the band, I decided I needed to move along. And that was, I remember a
clear cut like, oh, Chris, oh.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I was like, fuck, man, this band's going down the shitter no matter what. So, and might as well let Chris ride it, So I jumped ship. No, it was my wife, even, we talk about this from time to time, and she's like, "Do you ever regret like leaving Socko?" And it's like, I don't regret our lives, but like, yeah, sometimes I wonder, maybe, you think egotistically, maybe me being there, maybe I would have been the thing that pushed us over the edge and, made us even bigger. But it's a whole bunch of what ifs and coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But the best part about this is, here it is, 35 years later, and I still get to play with these motherfuckers. I'm so happy. I couldn't be any happier. I just wish I had more time right now in my life, working in the wonderful world I work in, to be able to play more. But anyway, that's what my experience was, living in early Socko and like having to decide whether I wanted to stick with it or, move along. It was the inner turmoil along the way, and also dealing with a raging alcoholism. So, there's that too. Makes it a challenging time. So those are the struggles. There's your VH1 storytellers moment.
Okay.
I'll give you my
Anybody
take
else
on
have struggles?
I'll talk about the struggles a little bit, and I'll kind of circle back to the whole small town Indiana. I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, I was a fan of Johnny Socko. I went to see them all the time. They were my favorite Indianapolis band, right? And no offense to Johnny Socko, but gosh, and this is going to sound horrible, but it's in Indiana, right? It's not like you're in LA and there's 40 ska bands to choose from. or whatever you're looking for. I saw Johnny Socko as these are some really talented guys. These guys are on a different level. And I want to be a part of that. And I want to follow them. And eventually I got to audition for them. And foolishly, they asked me to join. But to get to the whole trauma, to be honest with you, it's very Indiana Midwestern type of attitudes. Our biggest struggles were just realities of people saying, hey, I've got a kid, I can't do this. Hey, I want to get off the road, I can't handle this, sleeping on floors next to cat litter boxes. And those kind of things. It was just the attrition was kind of our biggest struggle. I think there were over 30 different. Yeah, sorry. I think there were over 30 different people in Johnny Socko if you count official beginnings of the band to the very end. And we don't begrudge anybody for that. It's just life. That was probably our toughest part, was not only we were kind of in the middle of the country, right? Maybe we should have packed up and moved to New York or LA, but I would say that our biggest struggles were we just kind of had to pick up and start over a little bit every once in a while and bring in somebody new.
I want to hear Beaumont's opinion on struggles.
The struggles of Johnny Socko?
No, struggles of Coolidge or whatever.
Oh, well, I think the primary struggle is just trying to keep everybody, get everybody together and spend time and be a band, and balancing work life, home life, and kid life, and everything else. It's just having standing rehearsals at this stage of life would be, I think, difficult for everybody. So I think that's our biggest thing, is being able to get more time together and push things over the line. And also just to hang and play music. So that's what I see as the primary challenge for us in Coolidge.
And you guys are a 5-piece in Coolidge, right? You're a 5-piece in Coolidge, and Socko was what? Socko was what, an 7-piece? 8 or 7?
Well, it depends on the era. 7-piece to 5-piece.
Got it. Now,
in the heyday of Johnny Socko, being the band that toured the furthest, both coasts, down south, everything, what were some of the bands that you were just thrilled to see on the road to play with?
Our best friends of all time, hands down, MU330.
MU330.
Yeah, we friggin' love those guys. We're still in touch with some of them. Yeah, just absolutely adore those guys. They're just the best. They're absolutely the best. Anytime we could do a show with the Bloominis, it's going to be a good show. But honestly, like, Johnny Socko was such an odd duck in the ska world, for better or for worse. I mean, it was both a blessing and a curse, because, like, we weren't the straight ahead third wave ska rock band. Like, I mean, it might sound silly, but like, we did some really fun shows in the South opening up for a band called Mel and the Party Hats, and they were a cover band. They were 100% a cover band, but our booking agent was trying to get us into new markets. And so it would be this completely weird, like, a few hundred college kids standing around saying, what the hell am I watching? But we're trying. We're trying to get the new music in front of new people in new markets.
Yeah.
Uphill battle every stretch of the way. But, the Velcro Pygmies and the Mel and the Party Hats, like, we had really fun shows with them. And, like, you got to give them props for, I mean, they made a butt ton of money. They were completely different than what we did, but, like, they were good, fun hangs. So, is what it is.
Anybody else?
I mean, we had the real pleasure of playing with everybody. of that era. At some point, I was a big Mephistopheles fan, so when we got to play with them, I was just tickled. But you name it, and it's like, well, yeah, maybe it was just a couple of shows. 5 Iron, we played a few shows in Denver together. You know, you name it, we probably played with them once or twice. But ME330 and Blue Meanies are our Midwest guys.
Yeah.
I have to say though, out of Minneapolis, Helva was one of my favorite bands to play with. Our horn section was lucky enough to play on their last album. We did some shows with them in Minneapolis and Quad Cities. That band was one of the best bands we've ever played with. Super fun to hang out with.
Nice.
There, I said it.
But yeah, you're talking about, you guys being left to center on the odd side, but you were lucky enough that there was the Blue Meanies, there was Weaker Youth Ensemble, there were other bands that were in, driving distance to play that were nutty too. So, I mean, that was an interesting, and all in different ways, which, that's part of that Midwest scene that I always appreciated.
Old sticker.
Yeah.
The glue fell off of the paper, and it's just the image now.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So let's Chris, you briefly touched upon, of course, Indiana being very small market. Now the ska scene in your area, I like to go through past bands and present bands from the area. The only past band besides yours that I could see that was anywhere near the ska genre was one called Circle City Demons. Do any of you remember that band?
Deacons.
Oh, Deacons. This stupid default thing. I thought it was Demons. Okay, I'm sorry. So they're a band that you guys played with locally in the past?
Yeah.
They still exist.
They still exist? Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, and they're still making new music, and they're fantastic. I'm bad with names, but the keyboardist and primary songwriter of that band, he plays a lot. He gets out and just does weekenders on the East Coast with a lot of different bands, because he can just slide in. Gosh, I hate myself for not remembering his name right now, but
Line? Is it Gorsline and the name?
that sounds right. Right.
Yeah, Craig Gorsline, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going off memory. Hopefully that's right. Go ahead.
Well done. Those guys are still at it. And there's a current band here in the area that's working hard called The Operators.
Mm-hmm.
They played Supernova the same year that we did. They hit it a little bit harder than we do right now, and play a lot with the Slackers, and they're fantastic, good friends of ours. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for history before Johnny Socko,
there's not much. Nothing really.
Charlie?
But
yeah. No, I can't.
I was trying to remember. I just pulled out my big CD thing. I knew that there were other bands that I'm totally forgetting. There was a band out of Maine called Rustic Overtones. Amazing band. And that's a really good example because they were more pop rock. There was no ska, but we worked really well together musically, and we did a handful of shows together. And I think that they even got signed to a major for a little bit. They were a great band. And then also there was the Urge out of St. Louis.
Yes.
Those guys were badasses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Total badasses.
There was another band from Maine, because you mentioned Maine, called Active Culture from the mid-90s. Do you guys remember that band?
Nope.
No? Yeah. But also in the Indiana area, the Redundants, that's another band in your area, Naptown Shockers, and the Ska-aholics. Are you familiar with any of these bands?
That last one I think I've heard of, but I think I've heard of, so that's the extent of my familiarity.
Yeah.
Great band, super nice guys, unless there's females in it, super great people.
So For both bands, well, let's start with Coolidge first. For you guys, for the influences, what bands or artists are your influences that help you create your music?
Chris.
Ooh. It's so eclectic, and it comes from so many different places. I mean, a lot of people will point out that I'm kind of a cheap trick nut. So that kind of pop rock thing is coming through in Coolidge. But Fishbone completely blew my mind when I was 16 years old, 15 years old. So that's kind of a baseline for me. So there we go. I'll kind of pause and move on to the next.
Both great acts.
Now, for me, it'd be same, but there's I per moment on recording for me, I'm stealing from Stuart Copeland the most. So Police obviously is a big influence coming in, but Fishbone as well. I came into Fishbone. I grew up a metalhead, and I had a Anthrax poster where Scotty was wearing a Fishbone shirt, and then I saw him an interview where he did an interview with Fishbone in Rip magazine or something, and how he was intimidated going in and interviewing him and all that, and so I had to check them out, and was completely surprised by what I heard, and I didn't understand why I liked it so much because it wasn't my standard metal, but that was my flip to getting into the style of music, and yeah, that carries over into what I bring to the band anyway, I believe.
Right on.
I'll go ahead here because my ska origins are very, well, they're kind of non-existent. They started with Josh telling me that Johnny Socko sometimes played ska. And so, like, as I started learning about, we covered a couple Fishbone songs, and I hadn't heard of Fishbone. I hadn't heard of the Specials. Hell, English Beat somehow skipped through my radar. Like, none of this stuff was anywhere. And I'm, college, I should know better. I'm drinking age, legal drinking age, even legal. But started listening to Fishbone. I'm like, this shit is outrageous. There was no spot where it fit in. It sits there by itself, and I've absorbed everything by Fishbone ever since. And Socko very much saw Fishbone as a huge influence. So I think it's important to go back to the Socko side of things and recognize that, Fishbone kind of drove the energy that we wanted to have on stage, that stage presence and that force, that tour de force they put in their music as well. And I like to think it carried through to today.
Yeah. When I was just starting to be in rock and roll bands, I didn't play guitar. I played saxophone. I was like, oh man, in middle school, I wanted to be David Lee Roth. And then in college, I was like, man, I want to be Angela Moore. Because just Fishbone is so good. They're kind of the gold standard on so many levels. And I mean, it's funny to hear Charlie say that because I was in the same boat where, like, I didn't know what ska was. And then I got into Socko, started getting more and more exposed to it. And then I did a deep, deep dive. And, like, I am a disciple of dub. I am a disciple of Lee Scratch Perry. King Tubby. I mean, I love dub, and I appreciate second wave. And I like third wave, but, like, man, there's so much like Studio One shit that is just, oh God. I mean, with all the stuff going wrong in the world, like, you listen to Studio One recordings, you can fight for another day. It makes everything okay. Just
oh my God, Josh, it's hilarious you say that, because I was just thinking the other day, I was listening to, like, all this kind of more like calming ambient shit, and I'm like, it just kind of get up all in your thoughts about the dark fucking shit going on in the world. But I'm like, and then I was just laying out and enjoying the sun the other day, and I threw on, I just I turned on Qobuz and picked an old school ska mix, and man, not a problem. Not a problem. Everything was gone. That was fine. I just laid there and cooked.
Yep. Yeah, and I gotta say, man, there's this dub station I found called Dr. Dick's Dub Shack. Ooh,
Let's write that down now.
Is this like a
some
internet
Dr.
radio,
Dick.
like a Mixler thing?
Geez, it's on this app called Radio Garden that is kind of a game changer for me.
That's a really cool app.
To be clear, fuck Spotify. Yeah, Radio Garden. Yeah, Dr. Dick's Dub Shack. They play some really, really good stuff, and whoever curates that playlist does an amazing job of like old school ska, old school dub, and into like some crazy drums and bass and techno and whatever weird, like, dub side of the moon, Pink Floyd's. I mean, it's delightful. So I don't know. I don't even remember what the actual question was.
It was
influences on the band.
Fishbone.
Fishbone. That's awesome.
Fishbone.
Yeah.
Fishbone.
There we go.
Such an incredible band. I was lucky to grow up in Southern California until 1982. And so they play my area, fairly often. I would see them, the Untouchables, but Fishbone, anytime they came around, if you could see them, we all went. Mm-hmm. And every time it was just ridiculous. And you walk away just, what did you see? Especially at that time. I mean, now, today, Angelo is still one of the best frontmen out there. So much energy. But 50 years ago, you think about it, 40 years younger, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Socko and Coolidge have been lucky enough to open up for Fishbone.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. I've seen Fishbone so many times. I think that's one of Mitta's favorite bands also, along with Devo, of course. But yeah, Fishbone's seen them so many times, seen them at a fucking Santa Anita racetrack down here. Play once. Now, we talked about the challenges for your bands. Now, back in 1998, you guys were actually on tour. You guys toured the nation. Chris and I had talked about this a few years ago about that. You guys came through our area, and I believe I helped to get you guys on a show. I don't know if you guys remember, if it was at a Claremont Youth Activity Center. It was basically a skate park show.
Yep.
And I don't remember if it was with Melting Pot or the Hippos or the Adjustments who you guys played with, but you guys played with the 11th Hour Band. You guys played with a bunch of local bands at a skate park here too. So that was like the only time I ever got to see your band, because when you guys came through, which was fucking awesome. But most recently in 2023, I was there. I flew out for 2 shows. The first one, which I'm sure Chris remembers because I was drunk as fuck trying to talk to him at the merch table for the American Gothic 30th anniversary show at Reggie's. And you guys played with Secret Cajun Band didn't make it, so they had check at State of Emergency open, I think, and then the Eclectics played, and then you guys, Coolidge played Socko songs, which was pretty awesome. So that was the first time I got to see Coolidge, which was cool, awesome, obviously. So that was pretty awesome. Now, I also went there to see the Blue Meanies, the show, the Kiss Your Ass Goodbye, where they played, and they had Weaker Youth Ensemble open, which was awesome. Now, you guys were in town. Were you guys not able to play the show with Blue Meanies at the time?
Chris, no, I mean, we were never asked. But I mean, Chris went to the show, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. And I ran into a couple of guys from Me 330. I think the Weaker Youth Ensemble connection, since a couple of guys left Weaker Youth and were in later versions of Blue Meanies, I think that was just kind of a natural fit for them. Mm-hmm. And they had Daryl, you might remember the name of the band, but they had a Celtic rock band
Yeah, that was
opened the show.
the middle band. I forgot who they were.
Yeah, they were great.
But they were really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the Tossers?
No. If you said it, I'd remember, but that's not it.
Flatfoot 57 or something like that?
No, I don't remember. I had the flyer somewhere, but
I would think the Tossers, because the Tossers music got put out on Thick Records when Billy Spunk was running it. Gotcha. So that was that thought. Gotcha. They were from Chicago as well. But
yeah.
And that was a show that Jay Vance signed your album cover, right?
In blood, yeah.
In blood.
Blood. I asked him. I brought like all my CDs for the guys to sign from Blue Meanies, and my cassette, and then the Captured by Robots, because when I was on tour with the Adjustments in '98, '98, the Adjustments played with Jay with the Captured by Robots at the Fireside Bowl, and I got that tape from him. So years later, I wanted him to sign it. He had cut his finger when he was doing something. So he decided to sign it all in blood.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Which was I was kind of put off by, but it's
now you have his DNA.
Exactly. Now I could clone him. I could clone him with keep the Teddy Bear Orchestra alive. So that was cool. It was great to see a lot of bands when I was out there in 23, bands that I had never seen, never thought I would be able to see, which was great. Another Chuck Wren miracle to put on. Now, I like to ask you guys all in both bands, who are your current favorite bands now in the ska or punk genre? Besides your own.
Awkward silence. I'm just gonna answer that. Like, who are some of my favorite bands? Mastodon, Red Fang, Queens of the Stone Age. Honestly, I am on a really, really big kick trying to listen to anything I'm not familiar with. I know that's weird in this algorithm-based culture that we're in, but like, man, I've stumbled onto two apps, one called Rover, ROVR, and one's called Radio Garden. And it's perfect for me because I'll just listen to music and I have no idea what I'm listening to.
I love having a personal DJ.
Yeah,
I love it when the world's my personal
recordings, DJ. Like, Northern Africa, rural, middle of nowhere, techno, Afro pop out the Ivory Coast. I mean, I want to hear stuff that I haven't heard before.
So recommendations?
I do not want to hear stuff.
Like recommendations on that.
What's that?
So basically the recommendations for what you're currently listening to, the algorithm that gives you those recommendations?
No, I mean, I've stumbled upon the apps. But like the algorithms, no, like Rover is based, it's staunchly anti-algorithm. It's like anti-Pandora, anti-Spotify. I mean, it just is what it is. And if you like it, great. If not, find something else.
Got it.
And actually, I mean, both apps are, you just kind of poke and hope and you stumble onto stuff. So, I mean, I'm constantly trying to find new stuff that I like. I've been listening to a lot of cumbia, listen to a lot of random dub. Yeah, it just depends on the time of the day, depends on the mood of the day, depends on what I'm doing. Yeah.
Good answer. Fantastic. Yeah.
I'm always starving for something new. Always starving for something new. I was forced to go and see what I've searched for recently. The one thing that's I'll keep it in the ska hardcore realm, just because there's horns in this. If the band Nowhere, poppy with cool arrangements and things like that, that's one of my favorite things that I've listened to recently. That's new music. It's hard for me to think of anything that's that's recent that I've latched onto because I keep going back and I keep working backwards through our style of music versus catching anything that's really catching my ear new. So, Josh, just post all those links that you're talking about so we can do the same thing you're doing. Try to find a good playlist that's got some variety to it that exposes the ear to something new. I'm always really happy when I hear something new that actually makes me excited, and Knower is one for that. Yeah. So check them out.
Madhu Mokhtar, MDOUMOCTAR, and then there's a band out. Geez, I don't really know where they're from. Ghoula, GHOULA. My brother sent me their album, mind-blowingly good. It's like, I mean, just who gives a shit what we're listening to favorite band-wise? Just go out and search for new music. How about that?
Go down a rabbit hole.
Go down a rabbit hole, yes.
My daughter introduced me to this really cool band called Horse Lords out of Baltimore. And it's all just tuning, first of all, so that's interesting. But like there's no single instrument that really pops out as the lead instrument in the group, and they get these really looped, orchestrated but looped grooves that you don't know if you're supposed to dance to it or not. It's very cool. I'm really enjoying checking them out. But yeah, Horse Lords, highly recommend. Check it out. I found it on. I mentioned Qobuz, QOBUZ. They take much better care of their artists. It's slightly more expensive than Spotify, but I like they have a really great curated selection. Like they give you really cool stuff to listen to. Like I love the going through the discovery thing that they have. So Qobuz, check it out. I don't get anything for this. There you go.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll see.
To stick to your question, I'll try to give my quick answer here. I don't know if either one of the bands is still active. Well, I know NoFX is not technically active, but I mean, I still listen to a lot of NoFX. In the ska world, I love Joystick from New Orleans. Quite a bit heavier, but they keep my interest. And then I'll kind of fall back to some of the similar things these guys said. Outside of those worlds, I love a band from Mexico called Los Piranhas that are a three-piece, and it's kind of similar. It's kind of groove bass, and you think you're supposed to dance to it, and it's a lot of sampling, but it's just the three of them, guitar, bass, drums, and it's just
I know them. They're cool,
mind-blowing. And Josh sends me a lot of dub playlists, and yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I think all of us, we don't play dub, but we
love it.
It keeps our interest. It's I mean, as old as we are, we've heard it all, right?
It keeps you moving. I'm looking for things that keep my momentum going.
Yeah. Cool. What? Hey, Chris, I'm trying to blank. What was the concert that I ran into you in the bathroom?
Oh,
and it was like
Cafe.
Yeah, Cafe Tacuba. Like
Cafe
incredible
Tacuba,
band from Mexico. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Josh and I, who talk to each other weekly, write songs together, been in bands for 30 years, and we run into each other at the concert, and we're like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I love these guys." He's like, "I do too." We had no idea.
Yeah.
Fun Cafe Tacuba story. Early 2000s, going to see a show with a band called Maldita Venciedad from Mexico. Phenomenal band. Or was it Maldita I think it was that one was the Maldita Venciedad. And I'd been there before. I saw Víctimas de Doctor Cerebro.
Oh yeah.
If you like Fishbone, check out some of their stuff. Fishbone, Mr. Bungle. Okay. Amazing band. Right. But the thing about Dr. Cerebro, every album had a pop hit on it. So they put it out. The single is this amazing pop song. First time I ever saw them is me, Mike Parks, and Kevin Dill in San Jose. They're playing a quinceañera. because the kids had heard on the Latino radio the ballads, and they went, "Oh, this is great." And they have the new album, and like the second song is "Quieres un baño?" Where's the bathroom? And literally, at one point, the singer jumps off stage when he would play that, run in the bathroom with his microphone, make disgusting, just explosive diarrhea sounds. And he's running to the bathroom going, "Quieres un baño? Quieres un baño?" He'd get in there and then flush it. The door would open, and and then run back to the stage. Just wild. But with Maldita Venciedad, I'm seeing them, another couple local Latino bands. After the first band's done, I'm at the bar. Bartender looks over and goes, "You look familiar." Oh yeah, I've been here before. And she was like, "You're in a band, right?" I go, "Not one that's played here." He's like, "No, I'm pretty sure you're in a band." And this guy walks by, and he's wearing a Café de Cuba shirt, and it's duotone. And as she walks by, she goes, "That's you right there." And at that time, me and the bass player, very similar look, and had the same glasses. And my friend who was with me is like, "That does look like you." Rest of the night, they're just comping me drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I like, don't lie. It's good. It's fine. Just take the drinks.
Just go with it."
Don't turn down a free drink. Free is my favorite price.
But I'm like, I don't want to take somebody else's glory. This is false honor, false glory. But I took the drinks. It was not the first time somebody mistaken me for somebody else and gave me drinks.
And remember, you tipped well too, so you
probably gave
well. Back.
I tipped extra well that night because I didn't have to pay the $7-8 at the time for the drinks.
Hell yeah, you did. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah. Maybe not the management.
Someone's got to pay for those drinks, though.
Why are we 6 bottles shy of this top hooch?
There's another couple.
But yeah, I'd say check out both Café de Cuba, definitely Café de Cuba, but on the crazier side, Maldita Venciedad and Víctimas del Doctor Cerebro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
their 2001 album, I think, was very electronic-y, but earlier than that, it was definitely crazy Mr. Bungle-y kind of stuff.
Yeah. A couple other bands from Mexico that are awesome. Tijuana, No, of course. I actually saw them up in. They actually backed King Hammond when he was here from England. And another band I've seen called Kinky from Mexico. Kinky's awesome too.
What was that one?
Kinky, Kinky. Kinky.
Okay.
Yeah, check them out. Those guys.
But yeah, Mexico has such an amazing scene.
Hell yeah.
Inspector. Actually, some of the guys from Inspector were originally in Maldita Venciedad.
Kinky's not even ska.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
Can I make a request? Out of the normal, when you're like hanging out with guys, oh man, you should check this out. Is there a way that you can like type all this out and email it to us? And we will also share our recommendations so that we actually can we share an email? So all these bands we're recommending, everyone gets a copy of.
Yeah, that's
Is that possible?
Idea. Sure, I'll make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. No problem.
All right. Damn it.
All right. No worries on that one. Now, I want to know about the songwriting process for Coolidge. Chris, you're the main dude, started the band. Tell us about how a song gets created. Is it everyone brings in their own part? Do you veto stuff? Do you guys actually get along, or do you have the last say? How does that song get created? And do you guys actually, ever have any animosity creating a song and getting that completed?
No animosity, to work backwards. And everybody is more than welcome to bring their ideas and input. I mean, we're pretty flexible, and we just want to try to create the best stuff that we can. I would say that, a majority of the stuff is stuff that I've written or I've begun writing, and then brought to the band. But some of my favorite stuff is is stuff that other people wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a neat thing to kind of tie in this podcast is that although, we're all writing every day, we still don't ignore some things that we were working on 23, 26 years ago. So there's a handful of songs on the last album that we put out. There's a couple of songs on the one that we're working on right now. We've got about 15 songs in different levels of completion right now for a new record. And a couple of those were songs that we were working on in 2002. But we've reworked. There's even a song on there that was one of the very first songs I wrote in 1983, 84. A riff that I wrote is going to be on the next record. So there's no one way. Everybody contributes. Everybody gets equal writing share. Everybody's bringing things to it. I'll stop yapping and see if anybody else has any different thoughts.
There's a one-off song on this record, and I'm only saying this because it happened to me on Conditioned Transmission, where I built this amplifier out of a suitcase, and I thought it sounded really cool, and I was just dicking around with it. And I'm saying this because I was trying to do, stupid little hammer-on shit, and I came up with this fun little thing, and I sent it to Chris, and he said, "What's the song about?" And I said, I'll let you know later. I'm drowning at work. Can't get anything done." He said, "So you're barely getting by?" And like within a week, the song was written and Josh had horn parts together, and the song Barely Getting By was written. It was just a stupid little thing I was sending to show that I had a cool delay effect built into my amplifier. That's it. So yeah, shit happens.
Well, and speaking of shit happens, I mean, like as far as most of the horn parts, it's my goal to I'll eat a bunch of White Castle hamburgers and then have a couple fruit smoothies. And then I'll take my phone into the bathroom with me and hit the voice memo thing. And whatever comes out, I'll record it and then I'll transcribe it into horn parts. And that's how I come up with the horn parts.
Kind of like the Víctimas del Doctor Cerebro, Tierras de un Baño. Just record whatever comes out in the bathroom.
Oy, muy caliente. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, mi stomacho.
Are you a big soccer fan, Josh? Is that why you're wearing the Oye shirt?
No, I'm a big The Expanse fan.
Oh, okay.
Charlie knows what
I'm laughing because I knew the answer to that one.
Anyone a sci-fi? You guys sci-fi fans?
I am, but I'm not familiar with that.
The Expanse?
No.
Well, if I were you, I would end this interview immediately and run to your TV and shut off the rest of your life and watch The Expanse because it's just that fucking good.
How do you spell it?
THE.
I know that.
EXPANSE.
Oh, Expanse, like that. Okay, got it.
Now, Daryl, if you do that, this will probably be the shortest episode ever.
Yeah.
Or second the shortest.
Is that good?
No, the shortest was Prize Fighters, barely over an hour.
Yeah, not even an hour.
Not even an hour. They had to get to practice.
Like, we gotta go to practice now.
Great guys, don't get me wrong, but it was only an hour. That was fine. So that's good. But there's a lot of, like Chris, you said, you guys pull out a lot of stuff out of the archives, stuff that you've had shelved for a little bit and try to rework those songs. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were intended to be Johnny Socko songs, right? While we were in Johnny Socko, but it's a mix.
So you guys did play 2 shows a few months, what is it, 6 months back? No, more than that, right? As Johnny Socko. Because I think you sent me a message, Chris, telling me that you guys were going to do that like a week before or something like that.
Oh, like back in April.
Yeah. Back in, okay. So since you guys reformed for those couple shows, is there any plans of taking Socko as a side project to Coolidge nowadays.
Huh?
Because Coolidge was the side project with Socko. Now Coolidge is the full band that you guys are focused on, and then you guys have
Gotcha.
played some Socko stuff. Any
Yeah,
plans to
so
have
we
Socko?
thought, Coolidge is difficult enough with our jobs and families. Let's try and inject a whole bunch of dysfunctional personalities and over disclosing strong personalities into that equation and just see how non-productive it can be. Yeah, that's absolutely the goal.
Well, the reason
That
I was
said,
asking
I
that,
love all these guys.
there's a lot of festivals in the U.S. ska festivals that are actually having legacy bands playing. Impossibles are coming back. Slow Gherkin came back last year. That's
that's
these types of things.
Supernova.
Even not Swim Herschel, Stretch Armstrong played a reunion show last year out of Utah. So
Yeah,
a lot of bands. That was the
them
reason
like
for
Let's
that
Go
came.
Bowling do about 1 or 2 shows a year.
Yeah.
If the
Very regional.
situation and the money were right, it may or may not happen. How about that? Is that non-committal
That's fair.
enough for you?
Well, I guess that's why Thumper is coming back to play the Pioneer Valley Ska Fest.
Yeah. I mean,
to
when
promote
we
a
were
show.
on stage. No, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I was just going to clarify that to promote a show that happened 2 months ago, there were over 11 people that we shifted on and off the stage. So it's not as simple as putting Johnny Socko back together. We really did try to honor different eras, even though, like I alluded to, there are 30 different people in this band. We can't get everybody involved, and not everybody wants to be involved. But we did try in this situation to honor the entire length of the band and the different kind of directions of the band. And going forward, like Josh said, I think we're wide open to offers, but it'd be tricky to get 10 or 11 people on the same page or something like that.
Yeah.
While we were on stage, we had a buttload of fun. It was a blast. It was lucrative. It was fantastic. The 25,000 emails leading up to the show were a drag, but whatever. There's a bunch of strong personalities in Johnny Socko, so everyone has their own perspective.
Is there a video surfaced of the
well,
show?
I for one am a cuck.
I'm sorry?
Cuck?
No, wait.
I'm sorry.
were talking.
Are you asking Charlie or me to repeat?
Oh, you, Daryl.
Much more important.
Oh no, definitely not much more important. So the video, is there video of the shows out there?
Yeah. Where is the video?
That's a pretty decent one. Here, I'll see if I can shoot you a link.
Is it on YouTube or?
Yeah.
I don't think anything has been officially released yet, but I know that there were a handful of camera crews, definitely at the first night.
There's a guy who put out a video of the entire show from the first night, and it's actually a pretty good angle.
Okay, nice. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, there it is.
Is it like full set?
Gonna copy that link right now. Jesus, that's loud. Sorry. Hi.
Now let's
yes,
talk
Charlie, this is live.
While you're looking that up, let's talk about the all the fun that you guys had in the heyday when you guys were in Johnny Socko also. Songs getting created also, the nuttiness of the songs. I mean, there's a lot of bands that are your type of music. I mean, here we already discussed Janitors Against Apartheid, wacky. One Eye Open's wacky. You guys are kind of wacky from back in the day, along with many other type of bands like Middle was talking about back then. It seemed to be its own kind of genre in the ska thing of that whole wacky type of things that you guys sing, of whatever you guys want to sing about. Not just trying to make hits, things like that. Not saying that you didn't, but the music was amazing. It resonated with a certain group of people who are like-minded. Do you guys feel that way, that your music speaks to a certain type of twisted mind like mine?
I think we were just writing what we were writing, and then if it resonated, great.
My
Yeah.
wife used to say that what really came across from the stage, yeah, the songs were great. She really enjoyed them. They were performed brilliantly, but we had so much fun playing them. That's what got came out off the stage. So we wrote what we enjoyed playing.
Mhm. Now, because like I mentioned earlier, Full Trucker Effect, it was just fucking amazing album. It just reads like a whole fucking soundtrack, which of course was your intention there. What was the process in making that, and how fun is that? Because it just flows so amazing from like Borborinsky Brothers to what's the spa one? They know us at the spa. Yeah, yeah. The whole fucking album is just amazing. How did you guys feel making that album? And after it was made, how proud of you were you guys for making that album?
It was
Charlie,
an
were you actually on that?
interesting
You
time
weren't
in
on
the
that, Charlie.
band. What's that?
I don't think Charlie, were
I'm
you
sorry.
involved?
Well, I have thoughts on it though, because I was there for a lot of the songwriting that went on right before that album. And I do remember handing off a lot of those songs where I now have to listen to somebody else play something that I was kind of instrumental in the creation of. So I do have opinions, but I was not involved in like the I wonder myself how certain songs got put in a certain order and how you guys arrived at, hey, Full Trucker Effect. What a great idea. These songs kind of align with that, you know? So yeah, I have thoughts on it, but
No, I
also
mean
not
the
proud of
the the overall thought was that that was the time in the band that we were on the road more than any other time. I mean, we were just touring incessantly. And so we were so familiar with truck stops, so familiar. I mean, you would just wake up in the van and you'd see this huge semi passing you. Like that was our lives in that couple of year period. And there was a Flying J truck stop on the south side of Indianapolis that I thought it would be really funny to have a hip hop video with cars with hydraulics and neon lights underneath, but they were semis. Like we can never afford to do that in a million years. But I thought that would be hysterical to like totally combine the hip hop culture of the late 90s and the trucker I mean, like, I don't know how old or young you are, but like, do you remember the song Convoy?
Eastbound and down.
Right. Like there was this whole part of Americana culture that was like trucker culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably tied into our zeitgeist in terms of like, oh, keep America strong and keep America trucking and blah 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 blah. So just the thought of like combining the hip hop world and trucker lifestyle seemed really funny to me, and that's where I came up with Full Trucker Effect, and then a handful of other songs kind of came from that. But I don't know. That was kind of the gist.
You had mentioned the in between song parts, Meta, as you really enjoying those, and that's kind of was more of my input. To be honest with you, I joined the band, and then we went into the studio about 6 or 8 months later after I had joined. So a handful of the songs had been written, and then I kind of co-wrote, and I kind of came in with an attitude of I wanted to be a songwriter, and to be honest, I wasn't really ready yet, but um, I didn't have a whole lot of songs on the record. So I felt like what I'm going to do is I'm going to help with these in between song samples. Socko had a little bit of history from Bovacordium and Roast Beef of having samples in between songs. And I think somebody just came up with the idea of, well, what if we don't use actual existing samples, but we kind of create like a Pulp Fiction soundtrack with actual quotes from our movie. Josh, somebody wrote some of the
Who was the one
Josh,
that
who
said
wrote some of those
jackknife?
pieces.
Who said, "Oh, jackknife" or whatever that weird jackknife sound was.
Was that
Damien.
Yeah, it sounds like a D.
It was Damien, the trumpet player.
I'm sorry. I had to go get another beer. So I missed part of what Chris was saying.
I was talking about the samples. But it was just kind of a collective effort. I mean, that was some of the most fun we had actually was recording those parts because we've been playing the songs in shows for several months, or if not years. But we just giggled, and there's so many, outtakes of just us giggling and laughing in the studio recording those parts.
Well, who knows? In the future, you might get the Wu-Tang sampling Full Trucker Effect, not knowing that it's, not a real movie, but taking your samples, much like the Shogun Assassin soundtrack.
The second highest grossing licensing song in the history of Johnny Socko was Tobacco in Paris, where we were kind of, Pulp Fiction had just come out. So let's take Pulp Fiction and interject it into the trucker era. And, we made the bullshit dialogue. That got optioned by an independent movie for a couple $1,000 because they like the ambient bar noise.
Oh, cool.
So
very cool.
But there's
that.
Yeah, then there's the one that have you ever rode something? He's all, do you want to? Well, I think is that the intro?
Or that's 100. That's a complete lift from
Convoy.
That's not Convoy.
Isn't
it? Easy Rider.
That's Chris Christopherson. No.
I
mean, that's an illegal sample.
Okay. Oh shit! And of course, the one I pointed out.
Oh yeah.
Good thing to announce on it.
No, that's an uncleared. Yeah, that's an uncleared sample. It's Chris Christopherson talking to a woman. I can't remember the movie.
It's Convoy.
Is it Convoy?
Yeah.
Chris Christopherson is in Convoy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. I thought he was just in Blade. I didn't know that he had done other work.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
What was wrong with you?
But you guys,
he has such a great voice. He should be a musician.
Eat My Distance was another one.
What's that?
Eat My Distance was another one.
Eat My Distance. That was Dylan.
Yeah. But the songs like Half Your Brain, Tired and Happy Life, Man in Disguise, which was that's a cover of
perfect.
That's a cover
of Don't Tell Me, Bob Harvey. Scott Colling's band. Yeah, Scott Colling. Shout out to Scott Killer Diller.
Yeah.
Borberinsky Brothers.
We played with them in Michigan a bunch of times.
Full Trucker Effect. The whole album was Tortugas. Like, damn. Sorry, kind of geeking out a little.
I love Tortugas.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely agree.
If anybody's listening to this at this point, I'll give you an Easter egg. Tobacco in Paris, if you listen to the background music, that is me recreating Vasectomy, Johnny Socko song Vasectomy, in a country way.
Nice.
So I added bar noise, but it's Vasectomy as a country version in the background of that sample.
I did
Today I learned.
That's awesome.
There you go. Worth the price of admission right there.
Thank you, Chris.
So Charlie, did you get any clarity in regards to some of your songs that you wrote, and did you have any questions from the other guys about that?
Me? Well, I didn't actually write any of them, yeah, actually, I did get a little bit out of this. I shouted this out just a second ago, but Tortugas, that song is so much fun to play, and that was like one of the last songs I got to play as a member of Johnny Socko, like the last new songs I learned. So it was very fresh in my head, and I haven't been able to play it until this year, again. So it was very nice. That's
special,
just warm in my heart.
That's a silly song where my brother lived in Tucson, Arizona for a stretch, and he wasn't sure what he was doing with himself. He was kind of depressed. He was just living in this crappy part of town, had a crappy apartment, and I went out to visit him, and we went to a bar to watch the Colts playoff game, and the Colts lost, and he was just like, "Muh." And then he mentioned out of the blue, like, "Oh, you know what people around here call those 40 ounces? They call them tortugas."
Oh.
I was like, huh. Roop. And then there's this movie called Repo Man. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it.
That little Ronnie Howard's movie, right?
No.
I'm joking. Harrison Ford. I was doing a American Graffiti reference because
no.
Yeah.
There's a band on the soundtrack to Repo Man called Los Cruzados, and it's this like Tex-Mex. It's just fucking. I mean, it is me 100% ripping off other people. Like, I heard the song, it blew me away. I want to write a song like that. Boom, Tortugas.
That's awesome.
And then Mike Wiltrout wrote the lyric in like kind of
the lyrics are brilliant,
mangled Spanglish. And that was one of the treats of the most recent Socko reunion where we played it, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Los Cruzados were another one of those bands. They used to play LA a lot back in the cowpunk days.
Muy caliente.
Now, I want to touch base in regards to your future material, because Chris, you kind of mentioned something about new material that you guys are currently writing for Coolidge. What do you guys got? If you're able to share, what do you anticipate it being on? Is it going to be another jump up release? What's going on with the new material for Coolidge?
We've put out a couple of singles that are going to end up on the full length. But we're old school, and we'd rather put together a collection of things than just dripping singles all the time.
Sure.
It's coming together fun. It's eclectic. It rocks. It's very much what you would expect from us. We've actually worked up about 5 different covers on there. I'm not sure if we'll release all 5 of them, but it's been kind of fun. But we're kind of narrowing in on getting some decent rough mixes that we're kind of hoping to shop around. So nothing sealed as far as who it might come out through, but we're certainly open.
And you said about 5 cover songs.
I think
you guys are actually recording. Is it something that you guys all try to choose? There's 5 of you, try to choose a song each for a cover.
No, good idea. So we've tracked, like I said, over 15 tunes for this thing. So it's not decided on exactly what will come out, but a couple of them are there's an annual event here in Indianapolis that is a fundraiser for the hungry, and you honor a band. And so there are a couple of tunes that we had done over the years that we made our own versions of. Like there's a Jimi Hendrix song, but we're doing this kind of rock steady version of a Jimi Hendrix song, and it works really well. So we were just like, we should record that. That was pretty neat. So there's a couple of those. We'll see. We've covered Billy Joel's Pressure for years, so I'm pretty sure that's probably going to make the cut.
Very nice. Great song too.
I'm just throwing it out there. Do you do like a weird bridge with Pressure by Fishbone?
We'll run that laboratories. We're going to run that by Chuck Wren and see what he says.
Awesome. Now we've got a couple more questions for you here. Now, since we know that ska doesn't pay the bills, what are each of your occupations, if you care to share with us?
Why do you think Scott doesn't pay the bills?
Because we know it doesn't, because we're all involved in it. Maybe except for Mida.
Well, they have eliminated, 25 people from their band. So keeping it down to a 5-piece, not a 30-piece. So
All economics.
I'm receiving government subsidies for my ska performance. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers. Charlie, you start. You have the most exciting job.
I work in the space industry. So I'm a customer success engineer for a company that has about 50 satellites in orbit, and some of those satellites have customer payloads on board, customers throughout the world. And I make sure that the satellite is healthy and that they can use it to do what they have to do with the satellite. Speaking in very broad terms, I can get more specific if you want to, but it's a fun job. It's a very challenging job. It's a very time-intensive job. It doesn't really care what time of day it is. Sometimes satellites will do what satellites do when satellites are going to do it. So, but I really enjoy it, and it's challenging for sure.
Hey, Daryl, is this your second band member who works in the space industry that you've had on the show?
I don't know. I think so. There's so many bands. I don't know.
Guitarist from Mill Ticket?
Who?
Guitarist from Mill Ticket?
Bill?
No.
Oh, Ricky.
Ricky, right?
Oh,
Trombonist, bass player.
No, trombonist, right? Anymore.
No, I talked to him recently. He still does. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's his day job.
Okay, I haven't really.
You happen to know who with?
October.
We're a small world.
I'm not sure. I know he does. Like the company he works for does stuff with SpaceX because he's out here in California. But I think they work with others as well.
We use SpaceX pretty much exclusively for our launches right now when we can't use Rocket Lab.
He lives in the Orange County area, so if there's something near
Orange
County, then that's where it is. Yeah, because he was in Long Beach, and I think he moved to Orange County.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah, we had JPL just, up the street here.
Yeah, it's such as it exists now.
It's awesome to just drive around the freeway and see a
just
NASA
a bit.
sign. Was that an alien? Anyone else care? No.
What about you, Matt?
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
I pay our bills working as a quality assurance representative in our local pharmaceutical company.
We're laughing because he's withholding the name of that company because it's a very big company.
I'm just staying on the safe side.
Local pharmaceutical company.
Wouldn't take much to discover, I guess.
That's me. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. It just gets even more boring. I don't know. Josh is probably the most exciting. I'm a licensed financial advisor, but I don't sell anything. I'm more education based, so I get to meet people and help them understand how things work. And most excitingly, occasionally I get to do group presentations where I get to get under the spotlight and perform in a different way.
Nice.
Matt Wilson, our illustrious bass player, is Chief IT Director for the Lumen Foundation, along with being a freelance musician. Speaking of freelance musician, that's what I do. And probably the most exciting thing is whether or not I can pay my bills.
Okay.
Josh is a very diversified talent, can do video work, arrangements, string arrangements, etc. So like and subscribe.
Awesome. Now for each of you, what are each
almost
of your...
balanced my phone as it's charging.
Okay.
Sorry.
What are each of your pet peeves and addictions? It doesn't have to be anything bad for addiction. It could be like record collecting or collecting cars or something,
Pet peeves. I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to kick off pet peeves. So I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently in Virginia, everybody backs into their fucking parking spaces, and it pisses me off because I got to wait for their asses. But I learned that there's actually a reason for it. It is because there's so many commercial drivers. There are people with military backgrounds, and apparently that is what you were taught in the military. And in urban settings, because of smaller parking spaces, people typically are taught at a young age to back in, and also because of the high military population around here. Nevertheless, pisses me off. I don't have anything positive to say after that. I have to simmer down first. Somebody else go.
Pet peeves are pickles. Pickles are the worst. They ruin everything.
What?
And, yeah. And
to each his
What?
my
Good pickles are so good, dude.
Pickles are amazing.
No, they ruin everything.
Wait, so the whole world of pickling, though? Like pickled green beans.
Now, you're talking just pickled gherkins or any pickled product, like pickled onions, kimchi.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, brother.
Sauerkraut.
I was leaning towards the former, but I can stretch it out.
Just no pickling at all.
Okay, well, steps. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Apparently, this is the last Coolidge gig.
No, it's just you guys can have all my pickles, right?
All right,
get them off my plate. My addiction, these guys will attest, is I'm a guitar pedal junkie. Every rehearsal, it's what's on Chris's pedal board, what's new. I buy, I sell, I trade. I'm always exploring different stupid sounds that may not ever get actually used in a Coolidge show, but that's an obsession.
Not a bad obsession to have.
That's not so bad. I'll go next. Mildest of peeves. The unwillingness of people to use the word me in a sentence instead of I. Like Charlie and I are going to go to the store, but Chris is going to go to the store with Charlie and me. It's okay to use the word me. Addictions,
grammar.
among the other things.
No, that's a great one.
Yeah,
I'm there with you.
Oh,
it's
that's
just
so funny.
Do you also struggle with people saying like when they spell like there or there incorrectly? Like TH.
That one's the lesser peeve, but because I've kind of come to terms with that one. That happens. It could be an autocorrect error in that case. Yeah. But that still seems to be on my wife's peeves list. Then as far as addictions, that seems the dopamine hits from my phone playing games has turned it into a fidget spinner. Where I could just be playing the game, but totally paying attention to what's going on. But it's just some kind of, I got to cut it out. We need to cure ourselves.
Next. Pet peeves, there's really nothing in current modern society that kind of irks me that I can think of.
Other than somebody not liking pickles?
I mean, for the most part, especially with the current climate of the government, I have nothing negative to say. Probably my biggest pet peeve is that the current Dungeons and Dragons armor class rating is a positive instead of a negative. And I think from the first edition to the latest edition, that's unnecessarily confusing. I would say my addiction would probably be narcotics and hydrocodone and or pharmaceuticals, acquired however I can.
I'd like to say one thing real quick, and I don't mean to bring this down at all. Josh, you are hilarious. I love you, buddy. I am an alcoholic, so I will say out there to the world, please, if you have anybody to talk to them. Just do it. It's an easy conversation to have. It's also the hardest conversation I'll ever have. So just do it. Thank you.
Well, what if they don't roll a 20, Charlie?
They don't roll a 20. Well, no, you can do it
it
on
depends
a 16.
on your modifier.
Thank you. I was
knew.
in there.
I knew we had another player on board. Yes.
Now, last question here. Where can we find your music, both physical and digital?
You can find our music right here. There's a CD.
I'll text you his address.
I thought he was going to show us a USB stick or
So
if anybody needs to know, just
email
thisisgodradio@gmail.com. I'll send you Daryl's address.
That's one album. That's one album. If you need more, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to now. Coolidge, theband.com.
Coolidge.
And then on the streaming services, anything not Spotify. Is that correct?
We're on Spotify, but fuck Spotify.
Awesome. It's great to hear. Now, is there any last words that both fans of Johnny Socko and Coolidge, any last words that you have for your fans and the viewers of this channel?
If you love Johnny Socko, you're probably going to love Coolidge because a bunch of the same dudes are writing music. What's not to love?
Yeah, I mean, if you're fans of either or both bands, God bless you. You know, thank you for being on the ride with us and being weird like us and digging something that we'd like to think is musically interesting, but also unique and different. You know, it's not just a Blink 182 clone, it's our own thing. So thank you for being different and weird and joining us.
Yeah, we try to challenge ourselves and you too.
Not the
Josh
band
fucking challenges me. He writes really hard horn parts, man.
So are you implying that the band U2 is challenged?
I'll be the first to say this is maybe a hot take, but I don't think U2 put a good album after Boy. I think they peaked at Boy.
I can neither confirm nor deny said allegations.
All right.
Can agree.
Well, that's an awkward silence.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that Bono heat.
No, man.
Matt, did you have any last word?
He came down on Bruce Springsteen lately, and it's the top thing in my news feed today. So I don't want to get on Bono's bad side.
Bono, keep Bruce Springsteen's mouth out of your motherfucking mouth.
Okay, Will Smith.
Don't make me Will Smith you.
All right, gentlemen. We do appreciate the time that you took to speak with us with your music of Johnny Socko and Coolidge. Can't wait to see what Coolidge has coming up. Anything that you need from us, please let us know. Hold on just a quick second. We're going to talk to you right after. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for supporting live and original music.
Yes, thank you.
We love you.